Yes, Rob, been over to Brisbane for the New Zealand Grain and Seed Trade conference, annual conference. And it's the first time we've gone offshore, and it was really, really good. And they had a great host of very, very good speakers over there, some New Zealanders and some Australians. And in some ways, they've got their act together and in front of us, and other ways, they're a little behind us in getting themselves organised. But certainly there were some very, very good speakers. We had New Zealand Trade and Industries Commissioner there from Melbourne, and he was really, really sharp, and we could be proud of him as our Trade Commissioner in Australia. Did a great job. Yep.
So what can we learn from the Aussies?
Well, certainly we had a nutritionist there from their grain industry, a nutritionist who talked about the importance of grain to the human health. And she was a practicing nutritionist and said, you know, well, we basically, we hear all about this gluten and all these sorts of intolerances and things like that, but grain is still a very, very important part of our diet, and very good for bowel health, of course, as we know that, and a certain amount of fibre that comes from that is absolutely essential. So yeah, keep those grain intakes, not so much the processed and sugared varieties, which we all, of course, like, but certainly...
You're talking white bread and things, aren't you, really?
Yes, or we're talking the brown bread and things like porridge and things like that.
Yeah.
They're all good.
As on the good side.
On the good side, that's right.
Exactly.
Yes, indeed. So some interesting stuff there. And also their breeding programs over there, you know, looking at GE and the risks and options and possibilities there. But New Zealand and Australia have been tracking down the same track, but at the moment we've put the brakes on some certain things that the Australians haven't put the brakes on, and they're quite concerned that we may drift away and fall behind the world, basically, at our end. And so, yes, to sort of watch this space. We like to sort of have some people to work with, and, you know, the Australians are pretty good.
So we can hold hands with them.
Yes, indeed, and swap information. It's freely available for the good of mankind, basically, and there's not too much hidden stuff there, and yeah, collaboration.
Because it's interesting that FAR, who I know you champion, have got a foot into Australia as well.
Oh, absolutely, yes. They could see the benefits of being established in Australia, and joint collaboration and trials and things like that. And, you know, for instance, there's a rust nursery in Queensland that we can use. They have conditions and stress some of our new ryegrasses out and test them for resistance to rust, and lots of little things like that they've got. Maybe they need some things that we've got, and vice versa, working together.